Hello there, it's the 28th of June 2020 and here you are with Dan in Essex, UK. So today I'm going to be making an update video on the Dixie Red peach tree. So I've made numerous videos regarding the growing of peaches here in the UK and I get a fair few questions regarding that subject. So what I'm going to do is link a load of videos down below, okay, which can hopefully help you with this subject because it's a very good and important subject and you can grow peaches here in the UK. So check that list out if indeed you're interested. There's quite a story behind this tree behind me, which I purchased about 5 years ago from Blackmoor Nursery. So those videos will be there, and also at the end of the video there's going to be a load of videos on the screen and you can click on those if you wish to see them. So let's have a look at this tree and have a little chat about it. Okay, so just going to pan the camera over and I'm going to show you the humongous crop that this tree is carrying. This one's soft actually, and it's ready. So there we go. The majority of these are not quite ready yet, but some are. Yeah, that one's ready. You can see because the ones that are ready tend to have a bit of a darker sort of blush to them. You know, they really are a beautiful colour. I mean, look at the size of that one there. So they're literally all over this tree. It's a magnificent crop. The tree has done so well and I'm incredibly happy with it. So there we go. So I purchased this tree from Blackmoor Nursery, okay, and it's a US variety, and my understanding of it is it was bred for commercial use in the US state of Georgia, which is a state with a large production of peaches. So there we go. Now I have actually found some other websites that are stocking this now. I looked at Blackmoor just now and I couldn't see it on their website. So there we go. So it's an early fruiting variety of peach, and here in the southeast of the UK it appears to do very well. So it's hardy down to about minus 23 degrees C. So that's got most of, well, in fact probably all of the UK covered with regards to where you can grow it. So I'm going to be putting some videos on peach leaf curl at the bottom, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. You can check that one out. In a nutshell, okay, basically the way that I avoid peach leaf curl is I keep the tree dry year round, particularly important during the winter months, but and even more particularly important when the tree leafs out. But what I do is I just keep it under cover year round, that way it doesn't get wet. So you need to protect them from winter rainfall basically to avoid leaf curl. But check that video out and you'll find out a little bit more about it. So this is grown on rootstock St. Julian A, if I remember correctly, which has a height and spread of about 3 to 4 meters if left unpruned. So of course it's not going to be achieving anywhere near that in this polytunnel. It's simply impossible because it would burst out of the top. So with regards to watering, now I haven't actually specifically watered this tree whilst it's been in the polytunnel, certainly not that much. It might be getting a little bit of water when I water the other plants in here because I've got this set up as like a polytunnel food forest, but certainly doing well getting its own water. St. Julian A is a semi-vigorous rootstock. It's sort of like the plum equivalent, the plum or the peach equivalent to something like MM106 of an apple or colt on a cherry. So certainly a good rootstock. And there we go. So going to be compiling all the peaches stuff into a playlist, so you can check that one out. And I recommend people, if they can take the extra time to get into growing peaches here in the UK. The rules of growing peaches also apply to nectarines. So I'm going to try and find a nice soft one to pick. That's not quite there yet. Yeah, that one's good. Right, there you go. So that's what it looks like. Really nice. So peaches, they fruit on growth from the previous year. So if you take a look at this, right, this is where I will hopefully get some peaches on this year. So your aim basically is to make sure that you get plenty of that. So you can see this tree really is starting to come out. Now, I pruned it twice, I think, since I've owned it. And you prune peaches in early spring. Okay, that's when you prune them. So there's going to be a pruning video on the playlist that I've made before. I think I may have even made 2. Okay, so there you go. Got to stop talking now. I'll let you take a look at this. But you can grow peaches here in the UK. I've not used any fungicidal treatment for peach leaf curl or anything with this tree. I've simply protected it from winter rainfall in particular, and as you can see, summer, any form of rainfall, no, it's in the polytunnel. Now, I spoke to a chap who has a house in Portugal, and he told me that he grows peaches in the garden of that house, and he says it's not under cover. And I said, do you get peach leaf curl? And he didn't even know what it was. And I explained to him about the winter rainfall, and he said, oh, that's right, yes, because during that period of time, he said, in the part of Portugal, or indeed Portugal, whatever, where he is growing these peaches, it doesn't rain. So that would explain why he doesn't get episodes of peach leaf curl. Now, I've had questions regarding peach leaf curl, and people have said to me, you know, they've had a tree outside the first year and there's been no problem with it. Well, yes, I have found this. I have had peach trees outside, or a peach tree outside, and I found what happens is, once the peach leaf curl is apparent, once it's there, it tends to get worse year on year. And what it often results in is the lower branches of the tree will die, and you'll be just left with a few spindly little things at the top. Okay, and it slowly just gets worse and worse year on year. So my advice, if anybody wants it, would be to grow it under cover, and that way, you know, you're guarded against it. Because you've got to think, you know, if you're going to spend 30 quid on a peach tree or whatever, nectarine, and it gets leaf curl, that's very, very disappointing to lose it. Now, there are several other options you can consider. You know, if you got one in a pot, you could always have it outside during the summer, and in the dormant season you could always put it in a cold shed or a cold garage, something like that. You could cover your tree during the winter period with a piece of polythene, or maybe some carpet or something like that. Or if you've got one up against a south facing wall or southwest facing wall or fence, again, you could also cover it during this period of time. But for me, as a busy working man, that's too much really to be able to do. So what I do is simply, you've worked out, grow it under cover, and that would probably be the best bit of advice I can give. Now, I have had issues of scale infestation on this tree. Many of you are aware of that, and what I've done is actually I just took the time to remove them. And I've also got a non-pesticide spray that works by physical action, so it makes them fall off, and I sprayed them with that, the tree with that, and that appeared to help. But the main thing I did was I just slowly removed them. Now, people have also asked me questions, have I had issues with, you know, like fungus infection? And because the tree obviously is warm and the airflow's lower in a polytunnel than it would be if it was outside. But basically, I leave the door open and that seems to help. The years I was keeping the door shut, yes, the leaves did get some sort of thing, and like red blotches formed, then holes appeared in the leaves. But as you can see, the majority of these are very, very healthy leaves. I mean, look at those new growth, look. In fact, the tree's really coming into the polytunnel now. So, there you go. If you've got any comments or questions on peaches, let me know, because, you know, there's two things that I've, myths if you will, that I've wanted to dispel since I started doing YouTube gardening, and that is the myth that you can't grow peaches in the UK, and also the myth that you have to have leaf curl if you grow them in the UK, and also the fact that some people think you can't grow grapes in the UK. Because as you can see, you can. And I've got numerous playlists, videos rather, on that subject. So there you go. Check the peach videos out if you're interested, and I hope you find them useful, and I look forward to hearing to all of your success about growing peaches here in the UK and similar climates, because it is indeed incredibly possible, as you can well and truly see. See you next time. Thanks for viewing. Please feel free to like, share and subscribe. Dan_Home Gardens on Instagram if you're interested.